Hello everybody, my name's Kiri. If you're new to the channel, this is Built on the Rock Homestead, and I'm on the western edge of the Texas Hill Country. And I've been out here for about a decade, 10 and a half years to be exact. And one of the first things I ever bought, major purchase out here, once I got out here, was the sun oven. And I've been solar cooking, or baking actually, ever since. Love it. And ever so often I will post a video of using my sun oven, and I always get comments. Mostly from people who, well, sometimes somebody will have one, but a lot of comments are from people who want one but can't afford it. I get that a lot. And I've had a few requests to show how they're built. Not because to show off or anything, but because there are so many do-it-yourself plans on the internet, videos and stuff. You don't have to spend $400, $300 on one of these ovens. Yeah, if you have the money, and when I first moved out here, I did have the money, and it's nice, but you don't have to. If you've got any DIY skills at all, you can build one yourself. So I've been asked to show how they're built, which I'm going to do today. I actually used the sun oven today. I had rice, chicken casserole I made. I guess I made it Saturday. Today's Monday. And I just threw it in the sun oven. It was a nice sunny day to heat it up. And it heated up just fine. Threw in some frozen veggies on top because I was running out of veggies from the original recipe. And it was great. And I've used the sun oven to heat food up in the past. One year we had a power outage. I don't know why. It was a beautiful sunny day. No storms anywhere in at least my part of the state. No earthly idea what happened, but something happened. I had enchiladas in the refrigerator and I just heated them up. So the sun oven, the solar cooking devices they have a million uses. They're very, very useful. So, but first, I want to make a disclaimer. Most people, or a lot of people at least, are familiar with the American sun oven. The American sun oven was designed and developed and started being sold, I don't know how many years ago, but well after I bought the sun oven. I have the original sun oven. I do not have the American sun oven. The design is slightly different. There are, people, from what I heard when they first came out with the American sun oven, is people, in the United States, and maybe Canada too, I don't know, but at least in the United States, people cook bigger quantities. They have the 9x11 cake pan. They have bigger pots. They want to cook more food in bigger pots than those people over in Africa or other locations. The style of our pans tend to be different, tend to be bigger. And that has caused an issue. And so that was one of the problems people had. So they designed, the American sun oven is bigger, apparently, than the original sun oven. And what I have is just called the sun oven, but it's the original one. Another issue, which is an issue for me, is the wind knocking them over. So they've got like a T-shaped, upside down T to help it. And I'll show you mine, which is not a T shape. And maybe there's a lot of different features that the American sun oven has that my sun oven, which predates the American sun oven, doesn't have. So keep that in mind as you're looking at my ovens. Now, I have the sun oven, and I have a Sun Sport. Now, I don't use a Sun Sport very often, and I'll explain why. But I bought the Sun oven, the Sun Sport, because of the wind issue. There was a lot of days, right now it's a little windy, and so now it's almost 7 o'clock at night, so I would not be using the Sun oven, starting anything to bake right now, because it's going to be dark before it would be done, and the temperature wouldn't be that hot inside the oven. But if it was this windy earlier today when I was heating up my food, it would have been a problem. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay. While I was feeding all the animals before coming out here to video, I noticed the wind knocked it over. Now, one thing I do to help with that is I use rocks. And they do help a little bit, but it's like this way is north, that way is south, this is west. So obviously the wind is going east-west, and I didn't have a rock to solve that problem. Now, the Sun Sport over here, it does come with these removable sun reflectors, solar reflectors, that you can put on. I got 2 of them. I haven't tried it. I'm sure it would raise the temperature, but I have found the Sport just doesn't get as hot. And so I usually use it for things that, like, I love to make egg custard in this, because it doesn't blow. I've never had it blow over. Now, one thing about the Sun Sport is, or a major thing, and it's the same thing with the oven, is see how it's angled? Yeah, that is so that the food in here is going to be facing the sun. And you just move it so you get the best angle of the sun. Now, the Sun Sport just has this plastic cover. And it came with the thermometer too, and this actually came with 2 little round baking dishes. But I can just stick that on there, and see these things, I can't really do it one-handed, but it fits over to hold it tight. Sometimes, like it's a really still day, I won't even bother doing that. It would have to be pretty windy, I think, in just the right direction to blow that off. But that's the basic design of the Sun Sport. It's plastic. Yeah, this one doesn't ever hit 300. Now, I'm sure if I put the solar panels on there, it would probably get up that high. I know somebody in Arizona tested hers once, and it did get up pretty high. I don't know if she had the panels on hers or not. But the wind blew my Sun oven over. There wasn't any food in there, so no big deal. I'm going to turn the camera off, set it back up, because I need both hands, and then I'll show you. Oh, but before I do that, see how it's angled so that the plexiglass can aim towards the sun. So let me lift it up. Okay. One thing that this has is a little knob to help hold this in place, and I had it fixed, but obviously when it fell over it got loose somehow. But you see it has the 4 panels, and they just fold up, so you can fold this up real easily. And we have this plexiglass that is actually, whereas in the Sun Sport the lid completely comes off, this one is actually attached, and it opens and closes. And I had to glue it back on because the wood's getting old and stuff. I mean, I've had this basically a decade, and the screws came out. And it came with a thermometer too. One thing that is different in the Sun oven, at least in mine, I assume the American Sun oven has something similar, but this tray. And what's nice about the tray is that it just gets hooked onto these screws, and so news. And see, one thing about the sun oven, if I go back here, the wind was just blowing it over again. See this right here, and you'll see there's a pusher thingy. I don't know what those are called, but you can really extend that. So during certain times of the year, like when the sun, like maybe winter when the sun's lower, you can really tilt this up even more. And so the bottom won't be flat. But with this, it will swing. So even if this is really tilted, that will be level. So that's nice, because I do use this occasionally in the wintertime. Not as much, because using the oven to, that produces heat to help heat up the house, that when it's freezing outside, that comes in handy. But this is Texas, so often it can be, warm in the house and don't need this, or supplemental heat. But that's basically the sun oven. In a nutshell. See, these fold up. See, these fold up, and there's a snap there, so I can just snap this, and then there's a handle, and I can carry it into the house real easily. And so that's what I'll do. Today was a nice day, but they're calling for thunderstorms tomorrow. We need the rain. And so I'm going to take these into the house. I just brought this out for the video, but this I actually used today. But that's basically, how they're built. Basically, you want a box that has the roof, the angle to it, so it can face the sun and will hold the heat. And I've seen DIY plans that used cardboard boxes, wooden boxes, and there's a difference between an oven and a cooker. There are ones that they're not in a box. The place that you put your pot of food, and we'll just have these shields coming out that will help aim the heat onto the pot. You'll see those kinds of designs. I've seen them using those car reflectors to keep the sun out. You put them in your windshield to help keep the sun out. I've seen people using those. I've just seen, there's a lot of different plans out there. So if you don't have $300 to $400, I know this cost me about $3, and that cost me close to $4 a decade ago. Actually, this I bought a year or two later, the Sport. But if you just don't have that kind of money, and right now I wouldn't have that kind of money if I had to replace these, go search online for some plans, experiment if you're into experimenting. Build yourself your own solar oven. Literally, I have seen plans with cardboard and tape. Obviously, those aren't going to last very long, but I have seen them. I've seen all sorts of designs. I've seen really bizarre looking. There's a million designs out there. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how these are built to help you start thinking about, when you look at plans or to do your own thing, what you might do. And even though this doesn't get super hot like this, and this never hit, this like the hottest I've ever gotten, the sun oven is 350, but maybe the American sun oven does better. But if you go out, once you decide to build something, even if you build something that doesn't get a super hot, yeah, it'll take a little longer to cook, but you can still cook. I have done lots of things in that. When when it was either too windy to use the sun oven, or I just did something like custard that doesn't need to be as hot. So hope that helps. And if you build something, I'd like to share those. It'd be nice to know about them. What you did. So thanks for watching, and hope you have a wonderful day, and start being inventive. Go build yourself something to cook your food with. You have a nice day.